What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the weekly Ramble video. I am very excited to be back. Obviously, I was gone last week. As some of you probably know, I was in California for a conference. I actually posted about it on Instagram. A couple of you guys hit us up and just saying like, hey, I'm in California, we should hang out and stuff like that. Really appreciate it, but unfortunately I was there for work, so I wasn't actually able to hang out with anybody. So I do apologize, but we are back. We're very excited to be back. Another kind of note, yesterday we were supposed to have posted a podcast episode. I'm recording this before we even record the podcast episode, so I actually don't know if we're gonna get it up or not. We're a little bit late recording this one just because of the timing when I got back and things like that. It just didn't really work out. Last week was also my birthday, so when I got back, I kind of celebrated my birthday this weekend, and so we didn't really get a chance to sit down and record yet. The plan is to do that tonight. As of the recording of this is actually Wednesday, so hopefully we can get it up tonight. If we can't, then I do apologize, but this is kind of an unforeseen thing. Normally we would plan ahead for something like this, but I was gone all of last week, and so we couldn't really record ahead of time, not knowing exactly what we wanted to talk about. So hopefully all things go well and we can get that episode up, and it should have already been up if it was, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I apologize. Unfortunately, not much I can do at that point. So, the big topic of the podcast episode was going to be Modern Horizons. And hopefully, again, if we got it up, you guys can see a more in-depth kind of look at our thoughts about it, as well as Will's thoughts more in detail since he's not on these weekly rambles. But I just wanted to bring it up and mention that I'm actually really excited for this. So, if you don't know, Modern Horizons is a brand new set. This isn't something that we've really seen before. We've seen Modern Masters before, which was entirely a reprint set. So it was all modern legal stuff, really good stuff as well, most of the time. But it was all reprint stuff. There were no new cards that were being printed in that set. It was 100% reprints from the ground up. And that made for really great sets. Obviously, the original one was fantastic. We also had the 2015 version, which was not quite as good, and then the 2017 version, which I would argue is probably right where it needed to be from the beginning. It was a good set, a lot of good value, but not too much value, so it wasn't breaking the bank on their end. But overall, those are really well-received sets, very fun sets, and very powerful sets, too. In this case, though, while there will be reprints from what they have told us, it looks like they are completely skipping standard and going straight to modern with new cards, which obviously is something that I did not expect, at least. I don't know about all of you, but I definitely did not expect that. This is kind of out of the blue, but I'm very excited for it. So the key here is that these cards all skip standard play, so these are not going to be standard legal. They are only legal for modern. I guess technically other formats as well can open themselves up to these cards, but this is a modern design set, so these cards are going to be really made for modern. And I'm really excited about that. We've already gotten 2 new cards spoiled for us. They are not reprint cards, so we have Cabal Therapist and then Sarah as a Planeswalker, which is really exciting. Both cards are very good. I think the Therapist in particular looks fantastic. Also, I think these are going to be really good commander cards as well. Just as a side note, I was actually talking with somebody on Instagram about that a little bit, and they were really excited about it. So I do think there's a lot of potential with this set. I'm a little bit nervous just because I have no clue. This isn't something we've seen before, so I have no clue where we're actually going to go with these cards. Are they going to be actually good in modern, or are they just going to be like, here's some modern stuff, it's not really that great, but you can technically play it there, like that kind of thing. So I'm a little interested to see how this pans out. My hope is, I will say I have high hopes for this set based on the 2 spoilers already. I do think that we could potentially see some really powerful things. So hopefully all things go well and we actually get a really nice set out of this. This does release June 14th. And I will say, because of this lack of MSRP thing, they're not, I don't believe at least, stating whatever the MSRP is going to be for paper. They do have an online price of $6.99 for MTGO players, so if you want to pick up cards there, per packet $6.99. I don't know, I mean, I don't know where to gauge this. Is it like a master set, or is this, I mean, it's not a standard set, but I don't know that it's on the level of a master set. And so I'm feeling like it's going to land somewhere in between those two price points, where obviously master sets tend to be much more priced up a lot higher, and standard sets down to like the $4, $3 range per pack. I do think this will probably land somewhere in the middle, especially based on the MTGO price. I don't know, to be honest. I should have looked this up, but I don't know what the Modern Master sets go for or went for when they were out online or anything like that. I have no clue. And so that might be I might be miscommunicating that. I'm not sure. But my assumption is that it will land somewhere in the middle. And this may or may not have been something that we talked about on the podcast episode a little bit, because price point is important. I think it's really, really important to not price players out of a format. Modern tends to be a little bit more expensive for some people, and so it's a little bit more, there's that barrier of entry. So my hope is with a set like this, they take the opportunity to maybe lower the cost of some really good modern staples, as well as print new cards that now we can get through this set that are going to be really, really good for modern. So we'll see what happens. I do have high hopes for it. I hope that it's going to be a really, really good set. We've talked about doing, I'm sure at some point on the podcast we've talked about sets that would like skip standard and just be a modern set, and then they could print new cards for modern. I know for a fact I've had that conversation with just friends of mine outside of the podcast, and I do think it's a good idea. I'm actually really, really stoked that Wizards is doing this, because it opens up a whole different avenue where they don't have to think about the standard environment when they're printing cards for the modern environment. Obviously, when they're normally doing like Modern Master sets, it's all reprints anyway, so they don't really have much to consider other than the limited environment. And then standard sets, they have to worry about how these cards are going to impact standard, because a modern card can very easily break the standard format and say, okay, this is clearly the best deck. And the only way previously to kind of deal with that was with a banning. They either had to ban something or, you know, do something along those lines to make sure that it wasn't taking over that standard format. Well, now, if this avenue is well received and continues on, they now actually have a path to say, you know what, we can print new cards, we don't have to worry about the standard format, and we can go straight to modern with this. So I think there's a lot of upside kind of all around for players as well as Wizards to make this something really, really great. I do, again, as I've said a million times, I have high hopes, so we will see how it pans out. Also, I just want to briefly mention, you may have noticed on our Instagram page, we did actually post, albeit a bit late because I was out of town, the two cards that were spoiled, the Cabal Therapist and then Sarah the Planeswalker. We did post those cards, and we're going to try and continue to keep up with spoilers as they come. We've done a lot of work on our Instagram page. I know I've mentioned this a couple times already. If you're not already following, we would greatly appreciate it. I believe, just hit 3,000 followers, so thank you to all of you who are out there following. We really appreciate all the support. You guys are fantastic. But if you're not already, please go follow it. The link is down below. We are trying to keep up with spoilers as well as develop content that is unique to us, but still encompasses all the fun of Magic. And so we've got things like the card guess, where I Photoshop out all of the main text from a card, and then you all get to either guess the real name or just put like a funny name. Just put something silly, have fun with it. I also do the Artist Versus series. So we take a single card like Mana War, and we take both arts and put them against each other, and you guys get to vote on the artist that you think did a better job or that you like more. Not to like put one artist down or put one above the other, it's just personal opinion. And so it's really, really fun and engaging to actually see where you guys land on all these subjects, as well as just showing cards, things like that, the normal stuff that you would see on an MTG Instagram account. But we certainly are trying to differentiate ourselves from other MTG accounts, and I think that we are working towards that pretty strongly right now, and you guys seem to be really, really enjoying the content. So again, huge thank you to all of you. That was a big goal at the beginning of this year, was to really, really step up our Instagram game, because we kind of slacked off towards the, I kind of slacked off towards the end of last year. But I do feel really, really confident in where we're at now. We're posting very, very regularly, so please, again, link down below. We would really appreciate the follow. I will say too, in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna do another giveaway. We did finish up the last giveaway, I believe last week, while I was in California. Unfortunately, obviously, because I was out, I didn't get to mention the winner in the weekly ramble last week because we didn't have one, but Ben Murray, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. He's already gotten his guild kit, and huge thank you for entering, and congratulations for winning. Thank you also to everybody else who entered. Again, this is a bit late, I apologize, but we had tons of people enter this, like by far our biggest giveaway. I think it was like, normally, again, I don't like giving numbers, but somewhere between like 250 and 300 people were entered into this giveaway. For us, that is massive. We cannot thank you all enough for supporting us and being a part of our little community that we've got going on. We're certainly doing our best to make it grow and thrive, and hopefully produce some really important content for you guys. So if you are enjoying it, as always, likes and comments down below really do help. If you're not subscribed already, if this is your first video, welcome. Please do subscribe and turn that little bell on. That actually lets you know when we post videos, which is generally speaking every weekday. So we do post pretty regularly. But again, thank you to all of you guys for watching and supporting. I think I am gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next weekly ramble video.